Hello once again, Slimy Fertlers. Just to follow up to the CoVid video I did the other day. I'm not sure whether you can see me properly. It's like 2 AM while I'm recording this, so my sleep pattern's all over the place, what with the, not sleeping. But yeah, it doesn't matter whether you can see me, as long as you can hear me alright, that's fine. In which case, probably should do it as a recording and not as a video. Oh well, never mind anyway. It's good to have a reference point to talk to, so I can look at you and say, hey. But yeah, so just following on from the CoVid video I did the other day, which was Thursday, I think. I think it was Thursday, I don't know. I have been given the all clear by the NHS to be able to rejoin society. I won't say rejoin civilization because there's not much very civilized going off at the minute, but yeah, rejoin society. We both have, basically both me and my mum. I spoke to one of the people at NHS Track Trace, and they put me in contact with one of the, I don't know whether it was a nurse or a doctor I spoke to. It was a young lady who said they'll just go through medical symptoms and stuff with you, stuff like that, just to see what the score is. And basically for mine it was just the same. When I spoke to them on I think it was Thursday afternoon or Friday morning, I think it was. No, it wasn't. No, either Wednesday afternoon or Friday morning. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know when I did the video. Oh, I can't even remember what it is. Yeah, brain fog. It's been, the days have just melted into each other. But yeah, so it was the day after I made the video was the day I spoke to somebody in the afternoon, and they said that I was fine. All fine dandy, because by then it's literally I was the same as what I did when I made the video. I'd still got a bit of a snotty nose, a bit of phlegm on my chest, and I got sticky eyes, which like you do when you get a cold. But they aren't really symptoms of COVID per se. It's mainly the really nasty racking cough that you get. Basically all the kind of things that symptoms of COVID. And this is from her, by the way. This isn't me saying it. This is from this lady I spoke to. The cough is the main one, because the cough is how it spreads itself. That's the main avenue of it spreading itself, because obviously the thing gets into your lungs, starts replicating, starts fucking your insides up, and your insides, respond to it by various means. You end up with, like I say, you could end up with snotty nose and things like that, headache, because your body chemistry goes all out of whack, your sense of taste and everything goes, because all of your things are going off. Some people end up with a bit of diarrhea and things like that, but the main thing is the cough, because like I say, when you've got it all in your lungs, you cough out and it spreads itself through the vapour, the spittle and everything that comes out of your mouth, which is why the whole mask thing is about, why it needs to cover your mouth and nose, because although it mainly comes out from cough, you can also sneeze it out as well, because not only the snot comes down your nose, you get like the spittle and the other fluids and stuff that come down you, which can have spread it to a lesser degree. So yeah, it's having those paper and the cloth masks, they don't really stop it all that well, because the weave in both paper and cloth masks is not really enough to stop it all. It's enough to stop the big drops of spit and snot and stuff like that, but we're talking like microscopic, and the weave in the materials isn't really done that. There are certain masks, filter masks, that do stop it dead in its tracks, that will let air pass through it, but not that. But and this is there. But yeah, so that's how the thing there. So it's basically, I don't have a cough. Well, I do, but it's just the phlegm on my chest that's coughing there. I'm not coughing, not like that. My mum, on the other hand, is still ill. She's not half as bad as what she was when I made the last video. She's gotten a lot better since then. But hers was basically she got no energy whatsoever. Really nasty bad cough. Like I said, you know, my mum has respiratory problems anyway. Really nasty bad cough, no energy, and she's just not been very well at all. But now she's singing. She's still got a bit of a cough. She's still a bit low energy. But she's on the mend, and they've recommended for her to continue staying at home. We're both out of the infectious period now, because what COVID does is it gets into your system and it has to propagate, and it propagates until it reaches kind of a critical mass, and then at that point that's when it starts becoming infectious. That's when it becomes infectious, because it's now got enough to continue going on and ravaging away your body like it does. But it's also got enough left over that it can start spreading itself about in a decent amount. We're both out of that period now, because that period is the 10 days, because basically the 10 days goes from when you first start showing any symptoms, and then 10 days from that, which we worked out, you know, was from sort of the Saturday Sunday of 1 week. So it's my, you know, the 10-day period that you had to remain isolated was the yesterday, so that'd be Thursday, so that'd be the 18th. I made sure that was fine, because you know, I said, are you sure? Yeah, and they said, right, okay, you know, that's fine. And I actually decided to go out and just have a walk around the shops and stuff for a few hours. I needed to, for the sake of my own mental health. I've spent basically since the middle of January cooped up in the house. So like I say, I had to look after my mum from mid-January onwards, because she had an operation on her foot, and it basically required me to do everything. You know, I didn't get any kind of time, you know, just to go into town and have a wander around. But I can't go into town anyway, because everything's still on lockdown, so it's all shut. But you know, I had a couple of hours out of the house. I had a wander around the shops. Feel a lot better, apart from probably overdid it a bit and set my fibre off, because this afternoon today when I woke up I was really tired, and I thought, oh god, I'm not going to start showing something. No, it wasn't. It was just me overdoing it again. Once I took my tablets, the kind of aches and pains went off, but I was still really worn down. So a couple hours in bed, I'm fine. Yeah. Here we go, coughing again. That's not a COVID coof, that's a phlegm coof. Yeah, so as I said in the last video, it was quite, you know, it was we didn't get the text through, you know, saying that we've been diagnosed with COVID until quite late at night, and then I made the video and said I was going to have a look around and see what need to do, what need to watch out for, you know, if any help's available in case we need it. And yeah, I'd go around. There's not really any kind of the help that's available is in the form of NHS volunteers. Both me and my mum had medication sat waiting at the chemists that we needed, and obviously not being able to go and collect it meant did that. Rung a number. I've got the number somewhere. I'll put it in like a little caption or something, just in case you might need it. It's for NHS volunteers. They're basically people who give their free time to assist people who are being affected by COVID. That's not only people like me that's having to isolate because of the illness and need medication or whatever fetching. That's also for, you know, elderly or disabled people who aren't able to do things. You know, it basically, if you've got a carer or something like that and the carer can't come because of COVID, you know, and you need somebody to go and fetch you things or sort things out for you, an NHS, you know, an NHS volunteer can do that. Well, they can do certain things, they can't do others. You know, you're not going to get an NHS volunteer to come and clean your house and cook all your dinners for you for free. That's, some might, I don't know, some might not. It's taking the piss a little bit, considering they're not getting paid for it. You know, there's a limit to what volunteer means. You know, that's not to say that there aren't people who would quite literally go out of the way to assist somebody in that capacity. So yeah, that was great. put me in contact with a fellow who lives just down the road, next village over. He nipped to the chemist, fetched some medication, brought it to the door. Thanked him. Obviously, couldn't give him anything or shake his hand or anything like that, because he's got to keep his distance, and everybody's masked up and everything like that. So yeah, that was great. That was great. It's really nice that there's people there. It's people like that deserve a round of applause, not people who haven't really done anything. The 2 meter thing, I found out about that because it was one of the things I was looking. You can spend all day sat looking at information and articles on the on the internet or in information booklets or newspapers or whatever, but it's a lot easier when you're talking to an actual person. I've found with a lot of things actually. It's information booklets give you a wall of text, and you can read through it God knows how many times and either still not understand or still not interpret it properly, unless you have somebody there. But yeah, the 2 meter thing is basically, if you do have the coof, that's roughly how far you will project, the vapours when you cough. 2 meters. It's 2 meters isn't exactly a thing. Some people can coof and get it a lot further than that. Some people can cough and barely get it, 12 inches from their face. All depends on, how good your lungs are, how much breath you've got, and all stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, it's 2 meters is kind of the safe guideline. That's how far you can do it. If you're unmasked, obviously wearing a mask also cuts down on the distance because the resistance of it going through, even though like I say, some microscopic things can go straight through it. But yeah, that's what that's for. The whole touching thing, we've noticed one of the things that they were really big on at the beginning of the pandemic, the Wu-Tang crisis, the COVID crisis, the Chinese flu crisis, call it whatever you want, it really doesn't matter. They were all big on the whole, washing hands and not touching things and wearing gloves thing, but they're not anymore. The reason behind that is because although yes, you could, basically, cough like that into your hands, or even if you do the thing where you cough into your elbow, you could still, some of the germs that's on there, you could touch something or somebody and, possibly pass the germs to them in that fashion. Although there's not really that much good evidence that occurs much. It can happen, but it's extremely rare. Because COVID is one of those, things that, a bit like AIDS, it doesn't live very long after it comes out of your body. I don't know exactly. I think the woman said there, she says it's when you cough it out. If you cough it onto, say, a window, you cough onto a window and your vapours are loaded with COVID, and you get some really nice big drops of it and big phlegger balls and stuff like that. It won't live very long, maybe about maybe 10-15 minutes or something like that. And in order to properly catch it and for it to take root and that into your system, it has to go in and get into your your airway and your lungs and stuff like that. And obviously then it's got to find the right conditions, or it needs to be able to do it. That's why COVID's not a I won't say COVID's not a really nasty infectious disease. I know I've done this looking up, and like I said, the information I've been given there, it's because it dies off quickly when it's out of the body, and it requires certain elements in order to in order to propagate itself. It doesn't, there's got the right boxes all have to be ticked in order for it to be successful, and if it had less boxes it needed to tick, it'd be a lot worse. They're saying about like different mutations of it, sort of the South African variant, stuff like that. The South African variant does seem to be a little more virulent, and some of the vaccines that are developed aren't very good against it. but the South African variant seems to be quite a rare one. I mean, I've seen people say about like, oh well, when viruses mutate, they get weaker and weaker. It's no, that's not how it works. Some of it might get weaker, but you know, all it takes is just one mutation for it to be, for it to, for example, like I said with COVID, cut down the number of boxes that have to be ticked in order for it to propagate. If it gets into your body by any means, whether it's breathing it in or it's soaking in through your skin, or you're eating something that's got some COVID germs on it, if it gets into your body by any means like that and then propagates, that will be very, very serious. Or if it is able to adapt so that it can live longer outside the body, that'd also be a thingy. But at the moment we're just talking about it's mostly the standard variant, the one that they call COVID-19 or SARS. Well, SARS-CoV-2 is the virus that causes COVID-19. So other than the NHS volunteer, there's not really much very help. Obviously, because we've been locked up in the house for the best part of 2 weeks, basically, kind of food shopping and stuff started to run a bit low on things. I have tried getting home delivery, and this is one of the things I just wanted to say about that. The home delivery system seems to be being abused to fuck. Firstly, by people that don't really need to be getting home deliveries. They could just go to the shops themselves. But unfortunately, because this is the media's fault. The mainstream media. Your newspapers and stuff like that. They've whipped people up into such a furor of paranoia and terror, basically, about it, that people are locking themselves away for no reason. They're so terrified, and there's no need to be. There's literally no need to be. It's like, oh, what happens if I go out and catch this disease? There's, like I said, there's plenty of precautions you can take. Wearing a mask and stuff like that, keeping your distance from people, and if you don't feel very well, stay at home. All that's preparations. Don't go. Like for example, if you look inside if you're gonna go to Asda or whatever, and Asda's chock-a-block, people fucking banging into each other and stuff like that. Don't go in. Go do your shopping somewhere else. There's plenty of other places you can do your shopping at. But yeah, the media has whipped people up in such a paranoid frenzy about it that people have shut themselves away. So they're doing things like that, like home deliveries. And it's when you look at some of the places there, that the amount they're charging for home delivery is ridiculous. I haven't been able to get any home delivery from anywhere because I just can't afford to do the shop and put the extra money on top for just for the privilege of having it brought to me. I do have a friend, a very, very good friend, who has offered to help if required. I can't just go to the supermarket. I can't just get on a bus and go to the supermarket. I probably could, but I wouldn't be able to bring home the stuff I need. I'd be backwards and forwards to the supermarket all day. I just wouldn't be able to carry. I can't carry loads. I'm not like I used to. At one point it wouldn't have even bothered me. I'd have just got on the bus, gone down, got the stuff we needed, loaded it into my backpack and a couple of shopping bags, and then just on the way back. But I can't do that anymore, especially considering that when I get off the bus, I've then got about a half an hour walk uphill, and every every kilogram I'm carrying gets heavier and heavier every step I take. So I can't do that, but I've had a friend offer to help if we really need it, which is good. He don't have to help if nobody has to help if you don't want to, but he's a very, very good friend. So yeah, the kind of home delivery thing is, I'm going to ask people, please don't. If you need to have a home delivery, if you've got reasons for having home delivery, please don't use it unless you actually have to. There's people who can't go out, and I'm not only talking about, sad cunts like me. I'm talking about, like elderly and disabled, or people that live too far away from shops to be able to get there. What with shops being closed now, like some people go do the shopping at the local village shop or whatever, but if that shop's had to close, because of COVID or whatever, or if it's gone out of business, which a lot of small businesses have, they need it more than you do, and I do think it's disgusting though that especially Asda, I've noticed they are really, really taking the piss with the prices that they want to charge for home deliveries. I can't believe, even you say like, oh yeah, but they only charge the most for the best slots. No, they don't. They know how to charge for it because they know they've got people by the bollocks, and they know people are so terrified that they daren't even go to the fucking shop. So they know they've got people by the bollocks there. If people are becoming reliant on home delivery, they're going to do it. I can't speak for any of the other supermarkets that do deliveries. I know I've seen Tesco wagons come past our house. I've seen Morrison's. I've seen Asda. I don't know anywhere else that does deliveries really. I know Aldi doesn't. I wish they did. So yeah, that's that. Yeah. The other thing I just wanted to quickly talk about is, like I said before in the other video, I'm not bothered about, I don't want your sympathy. I really don't. I don't need it. It's a disease. If you're going to catch it, you're going to catch it. You can take all the precautions in the world and still end up catching it. Best I've been able to figure out, or best me and Mum's been able to figure out, is that she's come home with it from the hospital when the last time she went to have her foot looked at after the operation. She's brought it home with her from the hospital. That's the best we've been able to figure out. Whether that's where it's come from, don't know, but seems the most likely. The thing is though, is like I said there, it's when I mentioned it, I've had some fucking abuse from people for some reason. For some reason. I've been accused of, like I said there, I got accused of refusing to self-isolate, even though I've said nothing of the fucking sort. I also got accused of deliberately trying to spread it around so that I could, kill people's parents or grandmas or whatever. I've said nothing of the fucking sort. And I would do nothing of the sort. Why anybody would think that is beyond me, but I do know why it is. It's because you go on social media, and social media has a lot to fucking answer for in this COVID shit. You go on, your news and your social media, and they're constantly telling you all sorts of crap. And even on the news, they don't have sight to spin some fucking crap. And social media is even worse for that, And it's like I said, there's people that've been got worked up, and they've got so paranoid and everything like that. And obviously, we've all had to put up with this for the past, we're going on with March. I'll say, yeah, we're going on for about a year. So, lockdowns and the COVID stuff started in sort of end of February, March last year. And we're getting to the end of February, beginning of March this year. And a lot of it's still going strong. A lot of people there. Only the other week, when they said about the kind of post-Christmas lockdown thing, well, what happened straight away? People went out and started buying everything up from fucking shops, hoarding and stuff like that. When you don't need to, you've never needed to, but people do it anyway. And then the thing is, though, the same people that go and do that, you'd expect that they're doing that because they're gonna, hole up in the house or whatever and stuff like that and ride it out. But then you see them wandering around, they have people over to their houses for fucking parties and drinks and whatever. They go to other people's houses, they walk around on the streets. So it's not a thing there. It's just, I don't know. I think it's stupidity and ignorance in equal measure. But yeah, you do that, and but this is the thing though. It's the whole social media thing there. I mean, people screaming at each other about fucking. You know, somebody says like, "Oh, I'm going to shop this afternoon." Don't you fucking dare! Don't you fucking! You're trying to kill my kids and stuff like that. It's, you know, I mean, this is the thing. All these precautions and stuff like that. That's your responsibility. It's not my problem that you can't take responsibility for your own safety. You know, that it's something, and I really don't understand why you have to tell people this. You know, it's your responsibility to make sure that, you know, that you've. I mean, much as I dislike having to wear a fucking mask, I still do it. If I go into a shop, I put a fucking mask on. If I'm stood outside, I don't have a mask on, because there's no need to have a mask on when you're outside. It's just in the enclosed areas where you can get clouds of vapour and stuff going round. And it's like, yeah, you could probably do the same outside. You probably get fucking thingy outside, but there's no need to wear a mask outside unless you want to. If you want to wear a mask outside, knock yourself out. Do it. But I always wear a mask when I'm inside. I make sure I've got clean hands and everything like that. And you know, I don't cough in people's faces or sneeze in people's faces or sneeze into my hand and then wipe it on somebody. You know, that's just, you know, I mean, it pains me to say, you know, common sense. You know, I mean, the word common sense gets thrown about a lot about things, and it's like, well, no. Some things that you try and apply common sense things to, it's like, no, it's a much more complicated issue than that. But you know, that's a discussion for another time. But yeah, just basic common sense stuff like that. You know, put your mask on, do the thing. Don't get up in people's fucking faces and shit like that. And you know, people don't even do that. You know, it's like, so they'll scream at other people for doing things, you know, and then you get and then there's the ones that go out, you know, and they do go out, you know, and they do wear masks and stuff like that, but then something tells them that they're entitled to be out and about doing their business, but you're not. You know, I mean, right, you know, sort of, I think it was during that period where things were sort of normal, kind of towards the end of like, or, you know, last summer, August time, I think it was, you know, and shops were open, you know, all shops were open, not just what they call essential shops. And, you know, it was outside in the street, and I had a woman with 3 kids in tow start screaming at me for not wearing a mask because I was trying to murder her kids. She came up to me and pulled a little kiddie winkies along as well with her. So she came within 2 meters of me, started screaming in my face about it, and I'm the one that's in the wrong. No. I was just going about my fucking business, and you decided to invade my space and mouth off at me about your fucking problems. I don't care about your problems. You know, I'm not trying to murder your kids. Your kids are your responsibility. Yeah, they're not my responsibility. Your children are your responsibility. I don't know how much more to dumb that down. I mean, it's like I say, it's not the first time I've had to point out to people that your children are your responsibility, not only for COVID but for other things as well. You know, it's not the rest of the world's job to look after and bring up your kids. But a lot of people seem to think it is. You know, a lot of people seem to think that you have to accommodate them on their every whim and their every emotional need or something like that, and really don't. No, nobody does. You know, it's the world doesn't owe you anything. You know, and it just really begalls me the number of entitled people walking around, and this whole COVID thing has really brought it to the forefront. You know, it's you know, I've got the right to live, you don't. Right, okay, I've got the right to go through life and make my own way through life as I see fit, you know. As long as I'm not doing anything to you, then what's the problem? You know, if I want to make bad choices, I'll make bad choices. It's my fault, it's not anybody else's fault. You won't catch me having to go at other people for my bad choices. Might moan about it, but I don't blame anybody for it. But yeah, so, you know, it's stuff like that. But this is the last video I'm going to make talking about COVID, because I don't know about any of you, but quite frankly, I'm sick of hearing about it. You turn, it's like I say, you turn your telly on, COVID this, COVID that. You look at a newspaper or a news website, COVID this, COVID that. You go on YouTube or whatever to watch stuff, COVID this, COVID that. You have conversation. This is what I said to somebody else as well. I was having a chat with somebody and another friend over, over Skype or whatever it was. I just said there, I says it's weird that even when you do talk to people, type to people, because that's really annoying there, because you type things away and then certain people they can't differentiate between when you're kidding and when you're not. They take things personally and go off on one and start mouthing and fuck it, I can't be bothered with that. But when you talk to people, you talk oh bloody hell, you're talking to people about COVID. You talk to people about lockdown. You talk to people how pissed off you are that you can't go out and that you can't do this and you can't do that because of COVID. All your conversations will COVID. And I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of talking about it. And I do think that the time has come now. The vaccine thing in this country is probably one of the best in the world, if not the best. We've got enough people going through, the elderly, the infirm, and all that, the disabled, whatever. People there are getting theirs. There's people who are also getting theirs, because of their work, stuff like that. People are getting this what they call it is going out there. People are getting the vaccines. There's nobody reported any adverse effects, regardless of any videos that you may have seen on YouTube, because there are a few floated about where people have said that, I went for this vaccine and it's basically given me a stroke or it's done something to me. They're all bullshit, total and complete bullshit. So if you see any videos like that saying about adverse effects of COVID vaccine, just file it under idiot, because that's what they are. They're idiots trying to fucking they're anti-vaxxers basically, and anti-vaxxers don't deserve the time of fucking day. There's also like that. So people are going out there and things like that. The according to the last news I saw on COVID figures, the amount of COVID cases has taken a massive nosedive since Christmas. That's not to say that it could come back in, because it did that last year, but that's what I say. Did last year because last year it went kind of tits up because people were I've got really itchy nose now. I think when people were told that stuff was going to start being relaxed, stuff like that, like shops were going to be allowed to open again, things like that, and a lot of people took that as an all clear. It hasn't helped either that we've still been allowing people to come into the fucking country without any kind of screening and stuff like that. They've said about these COVID hotels and for wanting people to, even if they're not showing any symptoms or anything, to isolate. I think that is reasonable. I do think that is reasonable. If we're not going to close the door completely, we're still going to allow people in and out. The very least that they should expect is for them to be kept separate and quarantined from the rest of the populace, because they this is a thing though, where like I said, there's the South African variant, which has originated in South Africa. Somebody's brought that back from South Africa, so somebody's come back from South Africa with this thing and just waltzed in and it started spreading. We don't want that to happen again, and we don't want people to go overseas and catch just normal COVID and then come back and start spreading it about again after we're making such good progress. Obviously the vaccine is killing it off, and people who are taking it, hopefully it'll be able to mean that they're not going to catch COVID again. So I think the time has come to start letting people get back to normal. Let's have shops back open again, and then let's have leave that for a couple of weeks, and then then let's have the fucking cafes and the pubs open again, so that people can get together and actually speak, not like fucking partying or whatever and getting together. But I think it's time that's come back again. even if you haven't been vaccinated, I mean, it's like they say, the survival rate of COVID has been a lot higher than what we were originally told. It's like I said, we were told that the death toll would be in the millions, and it would bring down civilization as we knew it, and there'd be bodies laying unburied in the streets and all stuff like that, all that kind of crap, which is what led to people fucking going and buying 10 billion toilet rolls for some reason. It's not been as bad as what they say it has, but it has been bad for people who are just trying to earn a living. And I'm not, I'm talking here about small business owners, or even big business owners. Companies of all sizes have had to close down because, quite frankly, they can't open, they can't do business, they can't sell things, they can't buy things, they can't do anything, they can't make things. So places have gone. That's it. That's jobs gone. And there's going to be quite a lot of. It's going to take quite a lot of time for everybody to sort that out. Not only in this country, but all over the fucking world. It's going to take a long time to sort that out, and you can't rely on the government giving you handouts all the time. Which is, like I say, which is a lot of people seem to have gone down that route of like, well, I'm just going to sit on my arse with my bottom lip poking out and my arms folded and expect everything just to be given to me. No, you've got to take some sort of action yourself. You've got to do something for yourself, think for yourself, do stuff for yourself. I mean, it's like I said, I've talked about the fucking disease and everything like that. I just want you to know that basically, you don't have to do any of the stuff I've said. You don't have to even believe any of the bits I've said. About what I've said about the disease and everything like that. That's just me giving my opinion. I'm not advising you on what to do. If you don't feel very well, give the COVID thingy helpline a tinkle. They're the ones that you need to ask for. You don't say, oh well, this bloke on fucking YouTube said this and that and whatever. No. Ask a doctor, ask a nurse, ask whoever it is that answers the phone at the NHS hotline. They're more qualified and able to help you than anything I can do. I can just tell you from what my experience is. I mean, if you don't want to believe my lived experience, then don't. I don't believe everybody's lived experience because, it's like I say, lived experience could be a lie. I don't always have to tell the truth. Nobody has to always tell the truth. Nobody has to lie either. But it's like I said there. But yeah. So hopefully we are coming out of this. It's like I said, it's the last time I'm going to make any kind of video about this. But yeah, like I said, I'm just going to have to keep looking after my mum. Hopefully she'll she'll get better. It's like I say, every morning when she's woke up, she's felt a lot better than the day before so far. So that's good. But yeah. So anyways, I don't know how long this video's gone on. Probably a lot longer than what I wanted it to. But thank you for watching, and bye. Until next time.